This morning I was very much stuck on thinking about what are the key things that help out PhD students. And what you're going to normally hear about the stories of PhD students is that you just really need to work really, really hard all of the time. But there's so much more to that, and I really deeply don't believe that's the key reason why people succeed in any career in academia. And from my view, I am now a professor and I've done a lot of videos on this stuff right now. From my view, it's emotional intelligence. And it's not emotional intelligence about connecting with other people. Because what you'll notice in the profession is that it's a very competitive game. There's limited resources, and people do things that are just surprisingly not healthy for anybody. And they say things that are not healthy for anybody because they themselves are scared, or they themselves are thinking that they can get ahead by making other people feel not great inside. And so for me, it's dealing with the sort of challenges that you face all of the time. And it's with this emotional intelligence that is incredibly important. It's the willingness to get up every single day, knowing that it's going to be hard, knowing that it is going to be challenging. And it's not challenging and hard in the sense that you're thinking about, that it's about writing and sort of doing the work. It's actually the challenge of doing it when you don't want to do it repeatedly, and knowing that you have more and more and more work that you need to possibly do. And so from my view, and I was thinking about this because last night I wasn't feeling that good about the sort of situation that I'm in. I sort of see mounting amounts of work that I always have to do, and I do more work and it seems like it never gets anywhere, that there's tremendous amounts of rejection. And as I'm dealing with this, I'm sort of processing, how do I deal with this? Frankly, it's not really, I don't deal with it that well. But I know that I need to get up and try one more day. And the only way that I could do this is have a stronger sense of self inside. So this sense of self lets me get up and deal with people that are not frankly, that they have their own things that they're dealing with. And you might not necessarily be treated that well, whether it's in the review process, for example, that you're going to go through, whether it's your PhD supervisors, whether it is colleagues, whether it is other people at university, whether it's, even people that are in the general public where they don't understand what you're doing and they think that what you're doing is a waste of time. And you feel like you're public enemy number one all of the time, right? At least that the perspective is that. And you need to figure out, how am I going to develop the sense of self? How am I going to really, really think about, hey, I'm going to love myself today? And, that's a hard thing for me to say often, where I am there's constant, people sort of picking apart of the different flaws that you have and the things that you write. It's a very emotional, personal process that you go through. And so the more that you can develop this sort of sense of self and just give the world the middle finger. I know that I've said this many, many times before, but it's really, really this practice of, I'm gonna get up and I'm not gonna pay attention to what other people are saying, but I'm kind of gonna pay attention to them because I need to listen to their feedback, but I'm not gonna internalize any of the things that they're saying. And frankly, for me, I need all the help that I can get, right? So, I need sort of dogs, I need exercise, I need, having time with my family to cook. I need to make sure that my family itself, my sort of stable unit is healthy, so that they can give me support. Is really thinking about, so we have this problem that there is this publish or perish mentality that often happens, and your job is to publish as much as you can and as fast as possible. Well, that's not possible for most of us, Right? That is an unhealthy way of living. And so what you need to do is push all of that away and say, you know what, if other people want to do that and ruin their life and internalize all of that hatred that you often see, the negative feedback that you often see, let them do that. And instead, what you need to do is come to the sort of terms of, I am good inside. And, you know, if the world doesn't want to support you, all of those kind of things, I'm just going to keep walking forward and have this internal strength. But at the same time, build up the support structures that I need to do well at any given time, and build up the sort of logics that I need to get back out and do it again, right? So it's a little tricks, for example, like learning how to just say, I'm just going to write one word today, or learning how to say, let's go have some fun with this. It's all about these little tiny tricks of thinking about, you know, this is a lot of work and it's daunting and it feels like I can never get this done, but I'm going to sit down and get it done every single day. And so it's building up this sort of collection of tricks, building up the community that you need that allows you to love yourself while you're doing it. And I'm going to tell you this, everybody that gets into it, everybody that does this as a profession, they really struggle with it. And there's lots of days that it's very lonely. You have to push away a lot of things, a lot of people. And so it's this very much an isolating, you know, singular task where everybody is hyper competitive. And so it's your job to say, you know, it's my day. I'm going to make it as pleasurable as I possibly can and develop a strong sense of self inside. And if other people don't play well, that's on them. That's not on you, right? And I've learned to internalize this as much as possible. And I think that's what it requires to be a top person in the field, is to internalize the sort of game of getting up and doing it again. And you will see this in other professions as well, right? Like there is a lot of competitive play in many other different fields that are not nice, right? Like being a professional, somebody that's in professional sports, and nobody likes you. Nobody likes you at all. And so it's your job to get up and to establish yourself regardless of what other people are doing. So getting that strong sense of self, getting that support group, maybe you need some sort of religious organizations in your surroundings, whatever it is, you build those things, you have that strong sense of self, and you get back up and you do it again. And you repeat every single day. That's really it. It's having this strong sense of self, learning how to take breaks, all those kind of things that are completely counter to the culture, completely don't make sense within the culture. Almost everybody is going to be upset with you for doing all of these things. I know it seems like ridiculous, right? Like this seems like normal stuff to the outside world. It really does, but it's not in the academic game, because they're there to wring everything out from you. And so it's your job to develop this strong sense of self of, I know what is good for me, I know what is good for my family, and I'm going to build this fortress around me every day. And having that internal strength of knowing how to do that, that's going to get you up, and that's going to get you going. And that's how you do it. It's really just this game of, I love myself so much that I'm going to push back against the world, even when the world tells you that you're wrong and that you shouldn't be here. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.